Today's video is a chit chat get ready with me sponsored by my good friends at City Beauty. I will get all into their products, the ones that I like and use to prep my skin for makeup today, including my lip that I'm wearing today. But as I'm sitting here editing this, I remembered why it's so important to me that this video go up today of all days. And that's because today starts their Labor Day sale. Today until the 6th, September 6th, you can get 35% off your entire City Beauty order if you just use the code EXTRA35 at checkout. Wanted to make sure I said this. Like, I know I type it in the video a couple of times, but I did not want to forget to let you guys know. Top of the video, if any of the City Beauty stuff is calling out to you and you want to try it, now is the time because that sale is going on for the next 5 days. But yeah, don't forget, mark your calendars, your Google Cal, your big ships of the Navy calendar, whatever you got to do. Don't forget, September 1st through September 6th, 35% off. Just use code EXTRA35 at checkout to get 35% off your entire order. Now let's start the video. All right, you guys, so today we are going to do a video of many things. We're gonna hang out and chit chat and talk. I wanna share with you guys kind of my everyday bright-eyed makeup look. I'm gonna call it a bright-eyed makeup look because it does have eyeshadow involved, but it's really light and it still gives you that really open, lifted effect. I have been doing my makeup almost every day lately because I am doing a lot more vlogging content and I just want to be camera ready more often than not. And I've kind of found a routine that I feel like looks really good in person and wears really well throughout the day. Also, I want to hang out with you guys and talk about what's been going on. I haven't been around on YouTube a lot. I've kind of changed the way I've done content recently. It hasn't been a whole lot of sit down and talking videos. And I want to talk about some things I want to do content wise in the fall and in the holiday season. And I really want to get y'all's opinion on it, get some requests going. This is more like allow me to reintroduce myself and let's just hang out. Pull out your makeup, sit down with me, let's chill. Today's video is sponsored by my good friends over at City Beauty. City Beauty is an amazing research-based, cruelty-free, clean beauty line. I actually featured them in a favorites video either at the beginning of this year or late last year. They sent me a very generous PR package and I've really enjoyed a lot of their things and you're gonna see a few items from them today in this video. In fact, I prepped my skin for today's video using a lot of City Beauty's products. Like for example, last night before I went to bed, I used the Line Smoothing Hydro Mask. This is a biocellulose mask infused with serum. You guys know I hate saying that word. This has peptides, hyaluronic acid. It does a really good job of kind of plumping the skin and making it super bouncy. Back when I did makeup videos all the time, which I don't know, do you guys want me to bring them back? I just feel like I'm so boring with makeup now. I have like my ways and I'm set in them. But I used to talk a lot about skin prep before makeup, which I'm still a huge proponent of. I do ice rolling before makeup. I do a couple of moisturizers before makeup. And the night before, I love to really prep the skin and get it in a super hydrated, glowy, plump, bouncy place using something like a sheet mask. And I feel like this one is really good for that. Its whole point is to help your skin look more plump, juicy, youthful, glowy, and the ingredients in it are super good. Again, it's free of parabens, phthalates, sulfates, mineral oil. It's cruelty free. Such a good sheet mask. This is a really good one if you want to do it before makeup. As with all sheet masks, you can even pop this in the fridge before you put it on, and then you'll get that kind of double duty of plump, dewy, hydrated, glowy skin, but also kind of that tightening effect as well. It's a little hack with makeup sheet masks, which I'm sure everyone knows already because TikTok and stuff like that exists. After I took my mask off last night, I used the Multi-Action Sculpting Cream, and this stuff is really interesting. It kind of creates like I don't want to say a film, but like a filter on your skin. In fact, one of the ingredients, hang on, let me pull out my notes. One of the ingredients is called acacia. Is it acacia? Acacia bipolymer. It creates a mesh-like network on the skin surface for an immediately smoother, tighter feel. And I feel like that's 100% accurate. You will notice right when you put it on, in an upward motion, mind you, that your skin's just gonna feel and look almost as if you have like a little bit of an Instagram filter on it, which is great. What's really interesting about this as well is if you put it on your neck and your jawline in particular, you'll notice an immediate kind of tightening up. Really good for fine lines and wrinkles around the face. It has green tea extract, which is really antioxidant rich, hydrolyzed silk, and vitamin E. So in terms of skin prep last night, I definitely used my Hydra Mask. I slathered myself in this guy. And then right before I put on my primer, I used the Under Eye Recovery. This is really nice to put on underneath your makeup because it already has this kind of iridescence to it that immediately brightens up and wakes up the under eye area. It has the same tripeptide complex that's in the sculpting cream, but this is right underneath your eye, so it definitely helps with puffiness, tightens things up a little bit. Again, it has a luminescence to it, so it does help brighten the under eye a little bit as well. And the brown algae extract also helps with that puffiness. So if you're like me, and I've always said that if I have too much sodium or cry or have allergies, my eyes will kind of look like sewn on buttons. And since a big part of this video is like big bright eyes, definitely need all the help I can get with that, and this definitely delivered. So that brings us pretty much up to speed. Wow, I am rusty at makeup tutorials. That pretty much brings us up to speed. I went ahead and did my brows as well because that's pretty boring. And then for my primer today, underneath my makeup, I am back on the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. This is one of those things where it's like, I feel like it does a good job for what it's for, but in terms of actually changing your skin and making it better long term, it doesn't work the way something like this does. Like, this is actually going to make your skin look better even when you don't have it on. This is one of those things that really only makes your skin look good while you're wearing it. But since the type of foundation I have been gravitating towards is full coverage and matte, which I know sounds crazy, but stay with me, something like this does really well underneath it. And then because my skin's already really tight because of using this just gives me like a little bit more hydration, but still that kind of tight, plump effect I'm going for. I'm also gonna take the Line Blurring Wrinkle Filler from City Beauty. This is really cool. You would use this kind of the same way you would use a pore minimizing primer. It has the same effect on the skin. So my biggest pores are right here, and also my fine lines are right here around my mouth. And it just instantly is going to give a much more smooth and blurred and filled effect. You don't really want to use this all over your face. You just want to use it where you have these issues. I'm gonna put a little bit on my forehead because I haven't had Botox in over a year. Also got fine lines around my lips now. So I'm gonna let this just set for a little bit before I apply foundation, which is what you wanna do. This stuff has a peptide and ceramide blend. It has diamond powder. Diamonds are a girl's best friend after all. That's what gives you this kind of soft focus, blurred, smooth effect. It also has a skin lifting bio blend. This one's really cool in terms of like a smoothing primer because it actually, again, helps your skin look better over time. Primers and things like that are great. I always compare primers to like waist trainers and skinny teas, and skincare to your diet and exercise. Like the waist trainers and skinny teas might do something for you in that moment, but your skincare is what actually changes the appearance of your skin and improves it. So the fact that this does both at the same time is really cool to me. I will leave all the information about City Beauty down below if you guys are interested. This mostly was kind of a priming, prep your skin for makeup routine, but they do have products. There's City Lips, which I'm going to use later on in the video. They have brow serums, mascaras, they have body stuff, they have spot treatments, they have masks. Like there's a little bit of everything over there, and it is cruelty-free, clean ingredients as well. So again, check the down bar for information all about that. And we're going to move on with this bright-eyed, bushy-tailed makeup tutorial. All the products I'm going to use will be linked down below in today's video. Saw this trick on Instagram the other day where someone took their like kind of highlighting concealer and put it right here to lift, which I thought was pretty cool. So most of you have noticed that a lot of my content has shifted this year, and there's been several reasons for that. I made a video back in May where I talked about some health issues I was having, and I'm kind of tired of every time I get on my channel talking about like bad news or it not being something positive or exciting, and I just was not feeling in that place for most of the year, especially once I started dealing with some of the health symptoms I was dealing with. For example, my hair was falling out, which it's gotten better, but I can still see where there's some thinning happening. But as a whole, it definitely hasn't continued to fall out, so that's the good news there. Also, my skin was freaking out almost all of the year. Like what you guys see right now, these are all scars. I was even getting them on my neck. You guys can probably see some scars on my neck. Like this was really annoying for me as someone who really cares about their skin and also who is on camera all the time. Like it's not fun to look at yourself on camera and just feel uncomfortable in your skin, no pun intended. For eyeshadow today, I'm using a few different eyeshadow palettes. First, I'm gonna be using the Tom Ford Cocoa Mirage palette. I don't even think they make this anymore, but I think Charlotte Tilbury has a very similar one. Speaking of Charlotte Tilbury, I picked up a few of her newer palettes recently. The Dolce Vita, or I think it's called the Bello Sofia palette from her, has been one of my favorites for years and I still use it all the time. But I also picked up Pillow Talk and the Bigger Brighter Eyes. If you guys only get one of them, get this one. It is so beautiful. This glitter right here is unlike anything you've ever seen. Like all of Charlotte Tilbury's eyeshadows and Tom Ford's in general blend so freaking good, but this one, these two in particular, mixed with my Tom Ford, it's all I really need to create a whole eye look that's effortless and only takes me a couple of minutes. So to do my transition color, I'm actually going to mix this color from the Bigger Brighter Eyes palette and this one from the Tom Ford one, but you could probably just mix the Bigger Brighter Eyes one with any neutral kind of mid-tone skin-like eyeshadow color. It's just that the Bigger Brighter Eyes shadow is a little too shimmery for me, so I just mix it with something matte. So really the whole of the year, I've just been trying to take care of myself. Plus I was having other health issues, which I really didn't want to get into on camera because I don't like when people try to diagnose me. I'm a huge hypochondriac and I have a hard enough time trying not to diagnose myself all the time. So I just wasn't feeling good. Like I feel like I just haven't felt truly myself since before my mom died. Like I've just been dealing with so much stuff ever since then. And it's made being a content creator difficult. I know some people, I feel like some people can have like really traumatizing, awful things happen to them and they can just keep it pushing, but I'm just not that person. When I'm going through a hard time in any way, I get really introverted, and just because I'm talking to a camera doesn't change that for me. Like I still am aware that other people are watching me and looking at me, so it's not as if I can just go through a hard time and, you know, be on the internet and still not feel like I need that time to myself, especially because people can be so mean on the internet. And I just needed some me time. I needed a break. Next, I'm going to go on with this color from the Charlotte Tilbury Bigger Brighter Eyes collection, shadow, whatever. And I'm going to mix it with this color from the Pillow Talk palette. You don't have to do this, but I'm just gonna because I have it. I don't know if you guys can tell, but these just blend out so easy. I actually like reorganized my makeup collection the other day and I put all my Makeup Geek and Viseart eyeshadows into a palette to try to inspire me to use them more, but I just don't. Like I love these kind of smaller 4-color palettes from Charlotte Tilbury and Tom Ford in particular, just because they're so easy to create looks with and they blend like a friggin' dream. I could do it like with one hand tied behind my back. But yeah, I have just been focusing on healing and feeling better and taking care of myself. I'm very privileged that I have the opportunity to do that in the first place, and it's been needed. It's a big part of why I didn't want to do sit down and talking videos, because I could just see it on my face when I would edit videos, like how unwell I felt just from how bad my skin was looking, to all the weight I had gained. I could tell my hair was thinning. Like it was just, it's hard to see yourself like that, especially when you know internally, you know, you're kind of going through it too. Next, I'm going to take this dark brown from the Tom Ford palette. The uniqueness, if you will, of this eye look and these products is not necessarily the shadows and the colors, although they are perfect. It's the blendability I'm trying to sell you guys on. If you've never tried these, especially if you're like my age, I'll be 37 in February. It's just nice to have products that do not require a whole lot of time to get the effect you want. And they just look so expensive and oh, I just love them. This is just going in the outer corner, kind of lifting up the outer corner. And then on top of all that, we kind of figured out, and by we, I mean me and my doctor, that a lot of the issues that I was dealing with from a health perspective, especially as far as my hair and skin are concerned, were happening because of my medication. It's not unheard of, but it took me a while to figure out that could in any way be connected, which doesn't really make sense, right? Because it's the only thing that had really changed is that I was on this medication. Then I'm gonna take this beautiful glittery kind of, it's almost like a taupe. I don't know, it's gorgeous. Let's see if it shows up on camera. Like, are you serious? It's not chunky or frosty. It's just beautiful. So pretty. Another thing that kind of was an issue that I really didn't put two and two together as far as maybe my medication causing me some issues was that I had developed this extreme sense of apathy. Like, I just didn't care about anything. I'm finally coming out of that because we've adjusted a lot of things. There's been a lot of tinkering and adjusting with stuff behind the scenes, which has also been hard to get used to. I just kept going through these periods of time where, like, I wasn't sad, I wasn't depressed, I wasn't anxious, but I don't think I was anything. Like, I just couldn't get anywhere but like right here, and caring about goals or, you know, upward progress or whatever, just, I didn't care. And I've never been like that where I just, especially like without benefit of depression coming with it. Like, if you've ever been depressed, you know that that's part of it, where you just don't care about anything. But I didn't feel sad. I didn't feel low or bummed out. I just felt very, very apathetic. Like, everything's cool, man, but to the degree that it was causing problems for me. I'm gonna apply some liquid liner just to darken the lash line a little bit. I feel like a lot of us can sit down and like watch Netflix and you feel like you can't find anything that looks interesting. That's kind of how my whole life was feeling. Like, nothing was interesting to me. And that's unlike me as well. I'm a very curious person. I'm always trying new things. And no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't find any interest in anything as well. Like, this whole situation with my mental health and what I went through last year has affected my life in such a ripple effect in ways that I could have never. If you would have told me this time last year that what was coming, I don't know if I could have appreciated the degree that it would kind of upend my life in so many ways. And I don't want you guys to get the wrong idea. Like, I've been fine. You know, it's not like I'm sitting around struggling mentally or feeling down. It's just I haven't really felt anything. And for someone who was dealing with what I was dealing with for so long, that's a blessing. So I don't want this video to come across like I'm trying to talk anyone out of taking medication. It was absolutely life-saving for me to get on medication last year when I was going through what I was going through. But I think whatever was happening with me, and, you know, like I said, I've been working with my doctors a lot on this. I think we're kind of out of the woods now. It's been about a year and things have definitely leveled out. And I think it's just time for me to try to get my life back and go back to normal. And I just, as we've been adjusting things, I feel better, which I think is a good sign. So again, if you are struggling with your mental health and all that stuff, obviously don't avoid medication, especially if it could save your life like it saved mine. But at the same time, I guess what I would offer to you is definitely be very communicative with your doctors. And one thing I wish I would have done was track my symptoms longer, because the real effects of this stuff, like, I started really seeing it, and it started really being made manifest on my weight gain, with my skin, with my hair, probably was around April to May, and it just consistently got worse. Insofar as, like, maybe right after the holidays and the beginning of the year, I was feeling a little bit of that apathy, but it almost like solidified in me the more time went by. And now that things are shifting and I feel better, I'm so interested and curious and passionate and excited again. And I missed that side of myself so much. And I went through a period of time where I didn't want to do these sit down and talking videos because I didn't care. I didn't have anything I wanted to talk about. I wasn't interested in anything. There was just nothing going on for me in that respect. Like, usually I'm a very communicative, like, verbal person. I like to write. So that's a big part of the way that I process stuff, the way that I express myself. And when that huge, like, uninterested, apathetic streak took over, it was just blank in here. Like, there was nothing. So that's kind of when I started being like, I don't want to sit and do talking videos anymore. I would rather do vlog style videos, which ended up being harder than I thought it would be, you guys. I thought that was actually going to be easier. Fun fact, people who are good at vlogging have a very unique skill set, because that is not as easy as it looks. These are the Vegas Nay and Eyelure lashes. This used to be a huge favorite of mine like 5 years ago, and I hadn't really used them since, but I like them. Foundation, I'm going to use the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation, which seems really dated, very 2016 of me, but listen to this. This is my thought process here. I went through a period of time, and that's pretty much been like a year, definitely all year, but maybe a full calendar year, where the majority of the foundation I was gravitating towards was like tinted moisturizers or water-based foundations, really sheer foundations. Once my skin started freaking out, that really wasn't it was an option. I still did it. But the problem was I was putting a lot more of it on, and then still putting concealer on it. And then because I have more oily to combination skin, I had to put powder on top of that. So it was just like all these layers that really didn't achieve what a sheer foundation is supposed to achieve. Sheer foundation ideally is going to make you look really fresh-faced, and like you're not wearing a lot of makeup. But that wasn't happening for me. I was just piling so much stuff on top of itself that I was like, maybe I should make the switch and go back to a more full, wow, you can tell I'm rusty, a more full coveraged foundation, but sheared out, like wear as little of it as I could get away with. And I actually went to MAC. I bought a bunch of stuff from MAC, which I haven't shopped at MAC in forever. But I got MAC Pro Longwear, and then I also picked up Double Wear. These are in the color 1C0 and 2C3. They're kind of pink toned, light medium shades that I just mix together, and I try to apply as little of it as I can. And the benefit of this is that because I don't put any powder on top of it, it makes my skin look more lifelike, if you will, than a more sheer foundation. So use this information how you will. Like I said, my skin's obviously got a lot of scarring on it. It's really cumbersome to try to cover up, especially quickly, since this is kind of an everyday makeup look, or everyday. It's what I've been wearing. And like I said, it lasts all day, and I don't feel like I have to wear as much makeup, which, considering it's a full coverage foundation, seems a little ironic. I do always forget to buy the pumps for these, which is annoying. So that's not even, I didn't really use much foundation at all. I know, like I said, it's full coverage, so you would assume, because of how covered my skin looks now, that you have to use a lot. You really don't. And even still, first of all, let me wipe all this off the back of my arm and add foundation pumps to Amazon shopping carts. I'm gonna blend it out and try to shear it out with a damp sponge. I feel like this foundation is a hair too light for me. I'm gonna cream bronze using the Fenty Cheeks Out cream bronzer. I used to use these all the time, and I just recently picked them back up again, and I like them. So as far as content is concerned moving forward, I definitely enjoyed taking a break from these sitting and talking videos, because I do get really bored with them. I get bored of looking at myself all the time. I get bored of this setup. The whole thing just gets old after a while. So I don't want to take that off the table completely, but I feel like those more kind of chatty, long, almost like a video essay, advice type videos would be better suited to go on some sort of audio platform so that I can be more consistent with them. And I'm thinking about starting another podcast. I had one a couple of years ago with my best friend. We started it right before my mom passed, and then after that, things just got crazy. And on top of that, the whole, idea behind that podcast, or even the idea behind the content I was making a few years ago and what I'm interested in talking about, has changed so much. And what I'm mostly interested in now is I don't mind talking to you guys about things like femininity and the high maintenance mindset stuff, because I do enjoy that, but I just don't want to sit here and talk about it. I'd rather do it in a podcast, but I don't know what to call it. And B, I don't know how many of you guys would even want me to do that. So if you are interested in that content and want me to keep making it, like if you're here for that content, let me know down below so I can start getting my act together and working on a podcast. I bought a mic to start podcasting and everything, but before I commit to something, I want to make sure that there's just even interest in it, to be honest with you. What I would much rather continue to do on YouTube is I still want to do vlog type content, because once I feel like I'm kind of getting the hang of it, which is happening right now, especially after my last vlog, I really enjoyed that, and I'm going to always cherish looking back at that, because like my daughter's in it, and it's such a good representation of like my life right now. I do have a lot of interests and things that I'm very weirdly passionate about that I've never really brought to YouTube. And I feel like I would have so much fun if I started doing it, but it's kind of weird. Like if you guys have ever been in a season of life where you want to try something new, especially on the internet, because like when I first started doing YouTube, I had been a professional makeup artist and been to makeup school, and like I knew what I was talking about. Like there was no doubt in my mind. Even if someone did not like what I was doing or didn't like my style of makeup or like somebody else's, I didn't care because I felt so confident in what I was doing. I was so studied and so practiced. And I don't have that with anything else, really. I have a lot of things I'm interested in, but I don't feel like I have the authority to talk about other things, and yet I want to. Some of the other things that I'm really interested in behind the scenes is like homemaking, like doing house stuff. I'm very interested in home design, home organization, cleaning. You guys, I have a weird cleaning obsession. I've had this weird obsession with cleaning products for most of my life. Like every time I moved into a new place, and you know how you have to go and like get all the stuff, my favorite part was buying the cleaning products. Don't even get me started on Clean Talk, or I have TikTok, but I don't use it. It's mostly Reels, but those cleaning TikToks and cleaning Reels, I could just watch those all day. For blush, I'm going to use Rare Beauty. I have two different ones. I have Grace, I think, and Believe. They're more pinky, kind of mauvey toned blushes, which I like a lot. I used to pretty much only use neutral or like a tangerine kind of peachy color, but lately I've been into this. I'm just gonna mix them both together. I'm gonna take the Hourglass powder and lightly powder like a little bit right here, my T-zone. Another thing I really like doing is cooking. Like, I fancy myself a pretty good cook. I feel like I got really good at cooking when I was plant-based, which is something I do off and on. I'll just go plant-based for a few months and then get back off it and go back on it. But I feel like going plant-based, especially in the beginning when I did it like 6 years ago, you have to cook most of your food, and you learn so much through doing that I feel like it's just made me more interested in it, and I've gotten better and better at it. And it's definitely a love language for me. I love cooking for other people so much. Like if someone's coming into town, like my best friend or my husband's family or something, I'm like, what do you want to eat? So cooking is definitely one of my interests, and I'm like actively trying to get better at it all the time. I love hosting. I love dinner parties. I love like tablescapes, and I love looking at food photography. It activates the same part of my brain as doing makeup does, except at the end of doing makeup, I don't even really get to see it because it's my face and I can't see it unless I'm looking in a mirror or filming it. But also when I get done cooking, I get to eat it and I get to feed it to other people. So I really want to start making cooking content, but I'm not at the place yet where I can like do my own recipes. I'm kind of a cookbook junkie, and I love reading about cooking and studying it. So I would love to do videos about that. And then on top of that, you guys may or may not have seen, like either on my Instagram or through some of the vlogs I've done, I have a really interesting house. It's not built like a traditional house, and no tea, no shade against everybody else's house, but like I feel like a lot of other houses that I see, especially newer ones, they're almost like blank slates that you can really do whatever you want to with them. And obviously I can do whatever I want with this house too, but it has so many things going on already that it creates an interesting design challenge. And I've been hesitant to decorate and kind of design my house the way I want to, because again, I feel underqualified or like I'm gonna mess it up or something. But I'm really interested in that. And even like seasonal decor. I'm a full-blown fall decorate, Christmas decorate, springtime decorate. Like I'm always decorating and shifting some of the easier elements that I can change in and out. And I'd love to bring that to the channel. And just in general, home content is actually what I watch the most of on YouTube, home and cooking. And I really want to make that stuff. But I'm nervous and I don't know if any of my existing subscribers would want to watch it. Hang on, I gotta fix plus. So I guess I'm wondering, like, how many of you guys watch homemaking, home organization, cleaning, cooking, decor videos? And how many of you guys would want to watch me do it? Do you guys have any requests? Do you have any ideas? Like, I want to do cooking videos, but like I said, I don't have my own recipes in place enough to even do that. So I kind of had this idea where it might be fun to recreate popular recipes from other people, whether they be other YouTubers or like famous chefs like Julia Child, and just kind of tell you guys how I did it, what I learned from it. Because sometimes when I'm like trying to pick out a recipe, I can't just pick it based off of what the person who made it says. Like, for example, if I'm getting one off of Pinterest or something like that, I gotta scroll and find the comments. Like, I almost never try a recipe unless there are a few comments about it, either saying things that they substituted or things they did differently or what they thought about it. Because I'm at the point now where I feel like I've tried enough recipes and I've cooked enough things where I'm pretty sure I can tell if I'm gonna like something based on what the recipe says. And yet I still want to hear from the person who didn't make it how it turned out. You guys, I'm going to fix my hair off camera and then I'll come back and wrap this up with you. Okay, lips. Lip liner, I'm going to use Milani number 4 in all natural. This used to be kind of touted as like a dupe for Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude, and it's similar, but I almost think I prefer this one a little bit more. It's not as waxy. For lipstick, I'm going to use the City Lips Matte in Rosy Mauve. I'm just going to dab this. And then for gloss, I'm going to use the City Lips, I think it says Pink Nude. So apparently the City Lips Clear is their best-selling lip product. This can actually be used as just a lip plumper on its own. Like, put it on your lips, let it get to work, and then maybe apply some lip color later. But because they have these colored ones, like in particular the City Lips Matte, which isn't that kind of like, it doesn't peel or crack. It's almost like a cream, like a moussey cream. And if you dot it on, it just feels like you have nothing on at all, and it lasts for a really long time without getting that crusty, you know what I'm talking about. We quit doing liquid lips a long time ago for a reason, but I don't feel like this formula is at all that really heavy, thick kind of matte lip we used to do. And then the gloss is really hydrating and it lasts for a long time. It's not sticky, but it's not so thin that it's going to wear off. It's just that sweet spot, and it has that tingle in it that does help plump and smooth out lines in the lips. I use this combination together the most, but if I'm just trying to like do a no makeup look or something more sheer, I'll wear this by itself because it does plump and make the lips look really nice. But because it has that plumping action, it almost provides a little bit of color, like a really kind of bitten, juicy look as well. Let me know if you guys enjoy this makeup look, if you try it out or pick anything up that I tried out today. Also, let me know if any of the ideas I talked about sound interesting to you, because I have so many ideas. I would love to do more lifestyle vlogs where we do maybe themed movie nights, or like I have my 10-year anniversary is coming, so it'd be really cool to do a date night. And in general, fall is the time of delicious, cozy food, and there's so much stuff I want to make. Decor ideas are coming, just decor stuff, cleaning stuff, Christmas, all that stuff is coming. I would love to enjoy the holiday seasons and the fall season with you guys on here. So definitely let me know if anything I spoke about today sounds particularly interesting to you. Thank you so much to City Beauty for sponsoring today's video. I have a discount code and some information about them down below, as well as everything else I used in today's video. Make sure you guys check them out. Tell them I said hi if you do so. All the products that I mentioned today work really well in a makeup routine, but like I said, they have tons of things online that on their online store that are good for actually nourishing and taking care of your skin long term. So I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Let me know if there's anything in particular you want to see coming up. Thumbs up the video, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.